We are back in our dark and scary room. What we would like to do is have some light that we can turn on and off whenever we want. A flashlight would be nice. That's what we're going to create in this lesson. Besides using lights a little bit more, it's going to provide us an opportunity to get better at our scripting abilities. Let's start by adding a spotlight. It is facing straight down right now. Notice it has an X rotation of 90, which is why it's pointing down. We could probably change that to 0, and now the rotation's at 0, 0, 0. It's facing to the side. I'm going to change the range a little bit here, so it's going further out. I can increase the intensity if I wanted to. There we go, that's feeling like a really bright flashlight there, and maybe a smaller spot angle. If I run this right now, it's shining, but it doesn't feel like I'm the one holding it. It's just shining from the same spot in the room no matter where I move. Press escape and look at this again. Yeah, that makes sense. The spotlight's in the room, but it's not attached to me at all. If I drag that into the FPS controller, I also want it to be where I'm at, so I'm going to reset the position so that it's 0, 0, 0. If I click on the FPS controller, I can see, yeah, the light is coming from the center where I'm at. If I run this, as I move around, the light moves with me. If I look up or down, the light doesn't go up or down with me. It is a little bit more narrow than I wanted, I think, so I'll change that. Let's set the spot angle to 30. Okay, so I think I got my light set up. We want to be able to turn it on and off. Really, we want it to begin being off. So next to the spotlight, I could uncheck that whole entire game object, but actually I'm going to leave the game object turned on, and we're going to learn how to turn on and off game components. We want the light component to be able to turn on and off. If I click on it, that's disabling it, or really setting the enabled property to false. If I check it on, that's setting the enabled property to true. So let's start with it being off and write a script that will allow us to turn it on. Should this script be attached to the spotlight because it's a behavior of the light? Or should this script be attached to our FPS controller because it's a behavior of the player? You could do this either way, but I think it is a behavior of the player. The player is the one that's going to be pressing the light on or off. It's their behavior that causes that light to go on and off. I'm going to click on the FPS controller. Notice it's already got a first-person controller script. It's okay that we have more than one script on an object. I'm going to go to the bottom here and say Add Component, New Script. I'm going to call this Toggle because that's how we can turn something on and off. Object. It is going to be a light that we're turning on and off, but later we're going to abstract this a little further so that it could be any object. We're going to toggle an object by pressing a key. So I'll say toggle object on key press. That's a little bit of a lengthy name, but it's very descriptive. Create an add, and it automatically attached the script here at the bottom. I can see that script over here in my assets. I'm going to drag that script into my scripts folder. If I go into scripts, I could double click on that to open it with my editor, but another way to open a script is if you have the object open, in this case the FPS controller, and I see the script at the bottom there. There's a little gearbox, and I can always click on that and say Edit Script. Let's just do a little test. Inside of our update, we're going to see if we can get some keyboard input. I'm going to put an if statement in here. I'm going to check using the input.getKeyDown method if a button is being pressed or not. Inside the parentheses of that method, we can send a parameter, in this case a string, with the letter of the key that we're trying to find out if it's been pressed or not. When a key is pressed, it'll say, hey, is it the F key? And it will return true or false. If it's true, what's it going to do? Well, in this case, we want to print out a little message as a test first. Debug.log, and inside the quotes I'll just put turn the light on. Make sure you put the semicolon at the end and save it. Let's see if this works. When I press run, okay, I'm looking around, that's good. If I press F, nothing happened, but maybe something did get printed to the console. I'm going to press escape, and while it's still running, just come over here to the console. And yes, it did say turn light on. If I come back, click in the game window, and press F again, it showed it again. So every time I press F, I get another message saying turn the light on. I'm going to stop this and go back to the code. We don't really want to do a printout there, but it was just nice to know that our keyboard detection is working and that our script is attached well. What do we want to do here? Well, we need to turn that light on or off, so we need access to that light. We need to know which component it is that we're turning on and off. We're going to create a variable for this, a class variable. It's going to be public because we want it to show up in the editor. It's going to be of type light and then give it a name. I could give it, for instance, the name flashlight or something like that, but I'm actually just going to say target. I'm making it more generic because later you'll see that I'm going to use this for any object, maybe not just a flashlight. So whatever the target is will be able to be turned on and off. So now we just need to change what's inside the if statement. I'm going to remove the debug.log and instead I'm going to type in target.enabled and set that value to true. Notice I didn't give target a value here, so even though I know I'm going to have a variable that will be of type light, I don't know which light it is yet. We made it public because we will assign it a value in the editor. We don't need to assign it a value here. Let's save this, come back to our Unity, and I'm going to clear the console. There's no errors showing up, that's good. If I click back on the FPS controller to see that script at the very bottom here, I see yes, it does have my variable here, target. It doesn't have a value yet though, so we can go ahead and set a value. It's expecting there to be a light here. And we do have that game object right here in our hierarchy. I'm going to click and drag and drop it into that spot. So now that variable does have a value. If I run this now, look around, it's dark. If I press F, my light comes on. Wonderful. If I press F again, it doesn't come off. So let's press escape and stop it. Coming back to our script, it's pretty simple so far. We just say, hey, what object or what light are we dealing with? And what should we do with that light when I press F? You can have the light operate in different ways. The first way we're going to use it is I have to hold the F key down to make the light show up. So as long as I've pressed the key down, it shows up, but as soon as I lift my key up, it should turn back off. So I'm going to put another if statement. Instead of using the getKeyDown method, we'll use the getKeyUp method. This time we're checking to see if the F key is being released. And if it is, what do we want to do? We want to set the enabled property to false. So if I press it down, it turns on the light. If I lift it up, it turns off the light. I'm going to press Ctrl S to save, come to Unity, and run the game. Okay, so it's pretty dark in here. If I press F and hold it down, I got my light. If I let go of the F, it turns off. So that's pretty nice. I'm going to stop it again. I feel like it should be moving up and down with my head, and I'm thinking that one way we can do that is by moving the spotlight, instead of making it a child of the FPS controller, make it a child of the first-person character. Because remember, the first-person character is the camera that's on my FPS controller. So if we want it to follow the camera, we could just drag it on top of there, make it a child. And let's see if that worked. If I press run, now when I press F, my light shows up, and if I look up or down, it follows me.